Nikki sounds like one of Marge Simpson's sisters if she had emphysema. Nikki's voice actually reminds me of when I used to crush gravel. It's the same sound. Nikki actually has to wear an orange vest during sex now because the last time she orgasmed, 3 bear hunters shot at her. That's my personal favorite. So actually another fun fact about Nikki is she has a great memory. She never forgets and also prefers to be paid in peanuts. She has a real fear of mice. I'm saying you're an elephant. That's what I'm saying. Nikki, she actually had her neck removed so the weed smoke would get to her lungs faster. She's really committed. Another thing, I don't know if you guys noticed about Nikki. Nikki actually got into the weed business after she tore her ACL and had to retire from being an offensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, it's Steelers? Okay, I'll change that to Steelers. Nikki looks like a human bulldog. When Nikki isn't protecting Russell Wilson from a blitz, she actually runs a pretty respectable business. I'll let you into that. Before Nikki sold weed, she was a bartender, but she had to quit because all of her customers became alcoholics trying to make her fuckable. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that one because it was too mean, but then I started reading and I couldn't stop. No, but really, Nikki does run a very good business and has made a lot of good business moves, unlike Paul. Let's get to those. Hi, Paul. I literally, when I shook his hand on stage, is the first interaction I've ever had with this man. So I also apologize for what I'm about to do. They paid me to do this, so. Like I said, Paul's not good with business. I don't know if you know his background, what he's currently going through. Paul is a good example of why you shouldn't smoke weed before making a business deal. And like I said earlier, this place is really nice. It has actually reasonably priced drinks and snacks. I actually bought 51% of Paul for like $6. I owe him now. I can't use your name anymore. I don't know if you guys knew this about Paul, but Paul used to be in the military, but had to be discharged due to a disability. That disability was being too high. All of the time. Are you guys Harry Potter fans here? You guys familiar with the characters? That's just the one guy up front? Well, you'll love this then, because Paul looks like if Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter grew up in an alternate timeline and never got fit or attractive, but still sucks at magic. If you look at Paul and you think this guy looks boring, you're not wrong. He is boring. So much so that he once owned a museum. Just a fun fact. Also a boring joke, I get it. Paul's weight is proof that weed helps with appetite, and his constant sweating is proof that it helps with paranoia. Hey Paul, what's your favorite strain of weed called? Cheeseburger? These ones are too mean, I think. Paul's friends, I learned earlier, Paul's friends in Seattle gave him the nickname Fat Boy. Those people were not your friends. They were really mean. Paul is an activist, which is the only time in his life anyone has ever called him active. It's okay for Nikki, I guess. We tell who you like the most up here. I only have a few more, hang in there. A lot of people don't know that Wesley Snipes and Paul have a lot in common. They both have been in trouble for tax evasion. Paul can't go out in the sunlight. And lastly, Paul can't jump in fear of shattering his ankles. White men can't jump. These jokes are mean, but like I said, he smokes so much weed he won't remember this in 3 minutes. We're pretty good. Paul has a lot of pictures of him with famous people, and Paul has left an armpit stain on every one of them. If you look at Paul, you'll notice Paul kind of looks like if a baby got old and smoked a lot of weed. I feel bad because I don't want to call Paul out on this, but Paul got into weed originally just to have a black friend. That hasn't worked yet. All right, that's my...
That's your own deal, everybody. So we're coming up on the OG activist that we're all here to see. We're all here to see Paul. We all know him. He's well known for growing 2 things. That's weed in his garden and fat on his ass. He's got gardens all across the world. He has some here and some in Japan. They just brought it up. I guess they call him Hefe here, and over there they call him White Godzilla. His preferred method of consumption with cannabis is brownies, obviously. He loves edibles. I'm just speaking in general now, just anything edible. He's been on CNN multiple times, and not for being stuck in his tub like you'd think. He's broken down so many laws in marijuana, much like the fireman broke down the walls of his bedroom to get him here. Please make some noise for the man we're all here to see, Paul Stanford!
You know, I don't have a bunch of jokes ready to go here. I'm not that great a comedian, but that's okay. I appreciate the honor. I did this out of, you know, my temporary insanity. Don asked me to come. I don't know. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming out. We finally got marijuana legal. Yeah. So I'm glad to see you all here. Thanks for inviting me, and we will restore hemp. Yeah!
Paul Stanford, everybody! It's really awesome for all you guys to sit here and listen to us make fun of this man, but this really is like awesome. The activists that you all see up here have paved the way for us to be here and have a club like this. It's just really awesome, and thank you for inviting me and my asshole friend to make fun of you guys. You guys all been great, and please enjoy the rest of the night, all right? Thank you.